does. So I have encountered someone who set the mechanics to do the damage. You are going to sit there and shoot the oracles in the correct order, from left to right or whatever it is. Back left, front left, back right. Doesn't matter which one it is. It's 8 seconds. So, let's say I have sun bracers before they got nerfed. I cock it, kill the enemy, throw my fucking grenades at Atheon. As that grenade's ticking per second, I'm gaining more super at the very beginning of the 28 seconds. So now, I already popped my super, so my super's refreshed. So now, the more damage I do by trying shotgun, grenade, whatever I'm doing, the more damage I cause, the more my... At 14 seconds, I already have my well radiance back. And now I'm able to do it without getting killed with him stomping around. So I'm doing my shotgun, grenade, do whenever I need to. Now it's the end of the damage. I have 2 wells and about 25 to 30 grenades before damage ends. The reason why this issue even came up, because I was talking to him about Verities and Sunbracers, and why Sunbracers was out damaging Verities. It was never meant to be a damage armor piece, but since Bungie majorly buffed it, it was strong enough to be able to do damage on bosses. With each ticking bomb, well, ticking of the lava that emits out of it, the lava blobs, or what do you want to call them. When they're emitting out, they used to stack now. With each one stacks damage, doing about 100k per single second per grenade. So if you think about it, I'm more than reaching 4 million damage before Verities even reach 1 million. That's why Sunbracers was the most powerful armor piece. It was never meant to be a damage armor piece. It was over buffed. Now, the reason why you get abilities back, which is on your grenades, because it's a grenade recharge. Atheon buff is only for grenades and grenade recharge. That is it. The reason why you're gaining super back, because the amount of grenades you can throw and the amount of damage you're stacking allows you to get more super energy. So if you say it, I'm going to go to Cosmodrome, and I'm going to kill some enemies. I'm going to have you watch my super bar. So when I do this, explaining this, then you can actually see the truth of what Time Visions actually does. Because this is the only boss in the game that allows you to do this. So if I come over here, pop my super, well, pop my Sparrow, come over here, 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, 4 shot, 5 shot, 6 shot, 7 shot, 8 shot, 9 shot, 10, and there we go. That's how much super I get by killing, well, by shooting 11 times. And in Depth of Kindness, you get more energy due to the fact it's a damage weapon. It emits missiles, which is the damage, versus an auto, which is bullets. It's the same way with shotguns. I'm doing less damage when I'm using my auto. But if I go over here and use a sidearm, I'm gaining more super than what it would with a primary auto or secondary auto. That's why when you use the depth and kindness on a boss or an enemy that's high health, you gain your super back quicker, due to the fact you're causing more aerial damage. With more aerial damage, you're causing more but super energy. It's the exact same way with Atheon. If you use Dragon's Breath, rockets, fusions, shotguns, grenades, you're gonna get your super back quick. It's the exact same way in Master. The more grenades you throw, the more super energy you gain back. If you shoot a rocket at Atheon Master, you're not getting enough super. Due to the fact that so grenades, well, grenades itself, are ability to gain more energy for supers. Due to the fact you get them back a lot quicker. Which means that taking damage of soul grenades or even infusion grenades, you're getting super back quicker. Because the damage you do will cause more damage and allow you to gain your super back quicker. And as you can see here, I'm doing less damage. Now if I go over here and attack the walker / spider fallen, I'll do a significantly more energy recharge than I would with an auto or a normal weapon that's not a aerial damage. The thing is about Atheon, in fact, the only reason why you gain your super back, because the more damage you do with grenades. Or if you use the depth and kindness while using the weapon, can also work. The more damage you do, the more your super gains. If you do this to any other boss, it takes longer. The reason why I already have 3/4 of my super back by the time I do War Priest damage done is because I'm using my grenades with rockets. But again, Atheon is not a buff on your supers. Atheon is a normal boss that only buffs your grenades and its recharge. Your melees don't get the buff. Your rift doesn't get the buff. Your dodge doesn't get the buff. Your barricade doesn't get the buff. Your super does not get your buff. The only reason you're getting your super back is because the more damage you cause to Atheon, the more you get back. Same thing with Starfire Protocol. When you can use Starfire Protocol, like I did, I used Div and Starfire Protocol. I'm able to pop 2 wells within 1 damage phase of Atheon. Because the damage I'm causing with grenades, which is significantly more damage you would do with weapons. As you see here, from the moment I started, it's been taking about roughly 5 to 4 minutes to even get it. Versus, you have 28 seconds of damage on Atheon. That 28 seconds, I can drop my well at the exact 28 seconds it starts, get my well back, and drop it again at 14 seconds left. In 14 seconds, I can get my super back just with the amount of grenades I throw and the grenade damage I'm doing. That's the reason why Time Vengeance works on abilities. It's the only boss in the game that can do this. You can't get your super back in War Priest. You can't get your super back in Root of Nightmares. You can't get your super back in any of the bosses after, well, before the damage phase ends. Especially Garden Salvation, that has 6 seconds damage. You're gonna have to work your ass off to kill ads to get your super back in Garden. The only reason it works in the ball of glass is getting time vengeance. The time vengeance is at 28 seconds. Do you see on your screen? Exact same way. If I use a normal one, if I use my Nova Bomb, if I use Arc, if I use Strand, they'll all do the same. Your Void would take longer without doing any damage. You could sit there for 8 hours and drop your well and do no damage to the boss. You gain no super energy from that encounter. If you do not shoot Atheon or throw a grenade at Atheon, you do not gain your super back. It's only because of damage. It's a reason why you see your super back a lot quicker and more frequent. You can pop a super twice before the damage ends. The more damage you do. So if you think about my logic, if I'm doing over 6 million damage, I can drop my well roughly twice. Because Atheon's are pretty much already dead. Because if everyone's damaging at the same time, I'm getting my super back. Now if I 6-man solo like I did, same thing. Just myself damaging. I gave myself well radiance twice before the damage ends. So that is the truth of how Atheon's time vengeance works. The vengeance of the buff only works on grenade recharge and grenade damage buff. It does not work with melees, rift, or super. The more damage you cause, the more you super you get. If you throw 6 grenades and let it stack and just don't shoot, you can get your super back pretty quickly. Just throw grenades, that's all you need to do. Just throw grenades and you will get your super back. That's why Starfire Protocol was good. That's why fucking Varys was good. That's why Sunbraces was good. And that's why Apple's Theseus was good. Every single time you damage with a grenade, your grenade damage itself increases the well range regen by at least 10% to 20% by each ticking damage. You're gaining way more super damage, well, super energy, than you would with a normal boss. That's why you don't see a Celestial Nighthawk Hunter shoots a golden gun twice in one damage phase, because it's physically impossible, because you cannot gain enough damage to be able to do damage on him. Atheon is a grenade recharge grenade buff by 500%. So if you think about it, your damage to your grenade is doing way more damage than your weapons are doing, which causes you more damage and more super energy than what your weapons would do. That's why he lost this fucking argument, because he doesn't understand that. Your grenades are what cause your super to recharge. Your weapons do not. If you sit there, pop a well radiance, and do absolutely nothing, and just sit on your phone texting until the damage ends, you won't even get it 2/4 of energy. And remind you, time vengeance only lasts for 28 seconds. Once that 28 seconds ends, damage phase ends and you cannot do any more damage. So that's why my logic broke his logic. because it just does not make sense. The reason why you're getting your super back quicker is because of grenade damage. And the ad clearing after damage will also get your super back. Your friends or your teammates' orbs of power will also get your super back. But when it comes to strictly just damaging with your grenades, you're grenading more damage, and you're also gaining more super damage, well, super energy, just by super damage itself. Well, grenade damage itself. It has nothing to do with weapons. That's why I'm able to pull out 2 well radiants before damage ends. That's why I'm able to do so much damage before some races became shit now. Because the soda grenades were a stealth major buff. The Starfire protocol, the Sunbracers was not just buffed. The solar grenades were a stealth buff by 75%. If you increase that by the 500%, you get by Atheon. That's 575% damage increase. Twice as much than Verity's gets. Verity's only gets 250%, even with time vengeance. With each ticking of my grenades, with each blob that emits, I'm doing 100k per single second of that blob hitting the ground or hitting the enemy. And yes, it did stack. Bungie did not fix it until 4 to 5 months later. It was the most potent and the most powerful build in the game, due to the fact it was stacking together. Which that technically counts as a nerf. Because what it used to be, and what it is now, was a nerf. These soda grenades recharge, soda grenades damage, and soda grenades emit lava blobs damage also has been majorly decreased. Plus the recent buff we just got this season, and plus the recharge rate of solar grenades. They were nerfed twice. So if you think about it, Sunbracer's been nerfed 6 times in a matter of 11 months. With Verity's never have seen a single nerf. It has seen fix, but not nerf. That's why Sunbracer is a powerful build in the game. When Verity's and Sunbracer mixed together, Sunbracer will come on top. Due to the fact that, if you haven't thought about it, Bungie for the last 10 years has nerfed anything that is overpowered. If it's overpowered and doing over damage than any other armor piece, like Starfire Protocol, was doing more damage than any other armor piece besides Verity's. It got a nerf by 98%. So if you think about it, my logic is correct. You only get nerfs to the armor or weapon you have if it's considered as redeemed as overpowered or overpotent. If it's overpotent, they will nerf it until they see balance. And now since they nerfed Sunbracers again, which is a 6th nerf, then that means a damage armor piece. It was meant to clear ads, an ad clearing armor piece. Now, since they got the major ass buff for soul grenades, it can transform into a boss damage armor piece. Which means, in all cases, that Verity's could not keep up. Because it never received a buff, and it never received a nerf. Which means it's back to balance. And when you see a balanced armor, a balanced weapon, given overclassed by an overpowered armor or weapon, that just sits there and puts in your head, hey, this is overpowered. That's why I said Sunbracers were better than Verities. Because it was actually is. And it was until they nerfed it. 11 months, it didn't receive a nerf. For 11 months of kicking the shit out of Verities. And that proved my point. That Sunbracers was superior. The reason why people are arguing and harassing is because they see the armor as ad clearing and they don't even test it as damageable. If they don't test it as damageable, they see if anyone who used Sunbracers for damage, they think they either cheat or the Verities person is a shit person who don't know how to use Verities. It's not hard to use Verities. It's the most easiest armor in the game to use Verities. Kill an enemy with a weapon that matches your super. And now since they change it, match a weapon that is match of your grenades. Which if you're using a solar grenade, it's gonna be a solar weapon to use. So yes, Verities was shit at the time. The only reason Verities claim decline now is because Sunbracers got nerfed 6 times. So if you do the math, that literally proves that Sunbracers was the most potent armor piece in the game. Because that shotgun melee bullshit was not working on Atheon. And that's why Verities was trash. You could be a brand new person like this person right here. Use Verities after somebody taught them how to do it. Kill enemies, throw the grenades. You can do the same damage as you would with any other person that uses Verities. It has nothing to do with the person that's wielding it. It's the most easiest armor piece in a game to use. I could do it. An 8-year-old can do it. And I've seen an 8-year-old do it. Granted, I outdamaged him by Sunbracers and I felt bad. But he knew how to use it. He had 2 million, I had 6 million. No one else but me and him damaged because everyone else was dead. This was one of my teaching fucking rounds. My friend's son is the one who used it. The one I went up against and the one I destroyed. I felt bad, but it's the way of logic when it comes to overpowered armor piece. It takes no skill to use Verities. It literally does not. And you see all these YouTubers saying, oh, you have to have skill to use it. No, you don't. You actually do not have to have skill. You can use it right now as a brand new player. And as soon as you read the description and figure out what to do, and if you have Xenophage, you can do it every fucking time with no fucking mistake. So no, it does not take skill to use Verities. It takes more skill to use Sunbracers than it is. Because if you're using Incinerator Snap, it's a guaranteed way of cocking the Sunbracers perk. If you use the Fireball, which is this one right here, you will see that it does not guarantee a Sunbracers perk. So when you use that Celestial Fire, you cannot guarantee activation of the perk every single time. Then it's all about knowing how to use your grenades. By when to throw it, how long to throw it, and how many grenades you can pull out before the time runs out. And Verity's radiance of death throw is as big as well radiance. I have tested this personally. I had my friend to go in War Priest, put Verities on. Actually no, not War Priest, Gogoroth. I told him, go into Gogoroth, kill some ads during damage, and I'll stay in the well radiance, and I'll throw my grenades. I was able to throw 2 soul grenades during the entire damage phase due to the fact that the soul grenades recharge has been drastically nerfed. Instead of 1 minute and 40 seconds it takes, like usual, if I put solar grenades on, even at me being 92, at 100 it will be at 116. The nerf put that at 3 minutes and 42 seconds. Even with 100 stacks, you cannot decrease the time. So in 3 minutes and 42 seconds, then you can have your soul grenade. As you can see now, it's already been 30 seconds since I switched, and I'm already a quarter filled. It takes more minutes to go in and switch everything around than it is with Sunbracers. Now, getting back to what I was talking about, the radius of death throw. So when I tested it in the well radiance, I got 2 to 3 grenades within the first bubble / 2 bubbles, I think. It was left and right bubble. So within the right and left bubble, I was able to throw 2 to 3 grenades. And since without time of vengeance, I couldn't get my grenades back quick enough, I would be able to throw 16 grenades. Now, I stepped out of the well radiance. Now I'm significantly getting less grenades than I was while being in the well radiance. While being in the well radiance, which allows me to get my grenades back quick. Now, since I'm doing 2 bubbles worth of damage, I was only able to throw 1 single solar grenade after I threw the first one. So the first time was 4 to 5 grenades, depending if I throw my grenade fast enough. The second time was 2 grenades without death throw. Your death throw is only as big as well radius. It doesn't take a genius to know that. So if I'm on Atheon's ass and I'm doing damage, and the person that's using Verities is on the staircase of Venus, it's top of the staircase, I gain no benefit of his death throw, which means I gain no solar grenades recharge. All my solar grenade recharge came from time vengeance, which means that I gain more of my energy from my grenade by the actual boss perk. And since I'm gaining grenading damage by a grenade perk, I'm decreasing my actual radius of death throw. Which means that if I sit here, pop a wild radiance that is that big, which is the normal size of a radiance, anyone who's outside of the circle cannot get the benefit of death throw. Anyone who's in the well can. That's why, as you can see, the solar grenades the solar super or void super or whatever super you're using, you're gaining more super energy the more grenades you throw, due to the fact of the increased damage it does and how many you can throw before damage ends. My average throw before damage ends after initial perk activation of Sunbracers is roughly 36 grenades to 45 in one single phase of 28 seconds. So that's how much damage you can think between Sunbracers and Verities. Verities can throw grenades 3 times, but that's only if you're stacking the ad clearing. If you stack the ad clearing, then you will have it. If you run out of ads to kill, you run out of the Verities buff. If you run out of Verities buff, your grenades go back to the 58,000 damage instead of 200,000 damage. Because if I have a sword grenade attached to Atheon, and it emits a lava blob that's hitting the ground while ads are coming from behind. If those ads are dying from my sword grenades, Verities are losing increased damage massively. So, no, Verities would never be good before the nerfs of Sunbracers. Sunbracers was the champion of the high class damage armor piece of any class. It was the most potent and the most strongest of armor pieces in the game until it received a major nerf, until the solar grenades received a major nerf. So that is the truth of Time Vengeance, truth of Verities, and truth of Sunbracers. And if you don't like that fact, then I can't accept your skill issue. Because that's the truth of how it works. Considering the fact that I have done this over 900 times, I should know how Sunbracers works. But I'll see you guys next time, and I'll see you guys later.